Tonight on CTV News, a Canterbury farm sold to new American owners could have an adverse effect on a local business. The Selwyn District Council is processing its building consents in record time. And aspiring MPs have just 2 days of campaigning left before you decide their fate. This is CTV News, I'm Grant Mangan. The lead engineer of the CTV building has failed to stop a disciplinary hearing from going in front of the High Court. Structural engineer David Harding led the design of the building that collapsed in the 22nd February 2011 earthquake. Harding escaped punishment from the industry's professional body after resigning from IPENS at the beginning of the year. However, the engineering body continued with the hearing. High Country Explorer Tours is facing a potential closure of their business after an American-owned company took over the property lease where they operate most of their tours. Brian Babington with the story.
23 years of business may soon come to an end. American company Coast Range Investments increased their stake in the lease to 100% after the Overseas Investment Office approved their application in 2010. Last Friday, High Country was evicted from the property.
So it means that we cannot carry out our advertised products, which puts New Zealand tourism in a very difficult position.
The business has been guiding tourists through Canterbury's High Country stations since 1991. High Country Explorer Tours director Rod Bennett is devastated.
Without Flock Hill, that takes out the critical component in what we do, because what we're doing is supplying a seamless journey, and because of the ability to do that, we can condense so much more into one day because we're using each component to get from one point to the next.
Coast Range's application did not mention High Country's use of roads on the property and the crucial importance of access for their business. Mr Bennett says he was under the assumption the role of the OIO is to look after the New Zealand businesses from overseas investors. Labour's Waimakariri List Labour MP Clayton Cosgrove says that this is arrogance of the highest order on the Prime Minister's part and that there is no benefit in the sale for New Zealand. Clayton Cosgrove says the Overseas Investment Office did not do their job properly if they accepted the Americans' application without properly checking the Canterbury business involvement.
The bigger question is this. The applicant, the Americans, when they applied for OIO approval, never included the fact that this business was operating on their land, that it was going to be booted off their land, and that 16 people would lose their jobs. Yet the OIO, by its own act, Section 17, has to consider job retention and job creation.
Mr Cosgrove says Michael Woodhouse and John Key have both been made aware of the complaints and ignored them.
Well, I'm calling for the OIO to do their job and ministers to do their job and the Prime Minister to do his job. Pull the decision because it was made with inadequate information. The OIO was not aware that a business was operating, that jobs would be lost, that a business has had access for 23 years, that a business has actually maintained roads and added value.
New Zealand First Leader Winston Peters has also come out labelling the Minister of Tourism, Prime Minister John Key, as a phony for going missing on this occasion. With their impending eviction looming, High Country will now have to cancel more than 62 tours already booked between now and October 2015. Brian Babington, CTV News.
Despite being the largest growing district in the country, Selwyn has been processing building consents in record time.
Proving consents can be processed on time, the Selwyn District Council has moved online to help speed up its procedures.
The process starts with the applicant going online, and it stays in the cloud, in the electronic environment, right through the process, which obviously saves the applicant time. You don't have to travel to the council office anymore. You can do it over the internet.
The rapidly growing area is pushing through more consents for new dwellings than a year ago, granting 2,790 consents this year, up from just 2,390 in 2013. And it's all thanks to this online tool, introduced at the beginning of last year.
In the office we can have multiple people working on the consent at the same time. We don't have to shift hard copies around the entire building, if you like. And at the end of the process, the inspection team record everything digitally, and creates the ability for them to check records that otherwise they would have to come back to the office to check.
Following the events of the 2011 earthquakes, the Selwyn district has been flooded with Cantabrians moving out of the city and into their area. In 2011, the council issued just over 600 consents for new homes. But this year that has more than doubled, with the building consent team at the council issuing 1,600 consents in the past year.
Selwyn's still the fastest growing district in the country. So without the earthquakes, we were still out there needing to change and get better at what we were doing.
They've even been praised by IANZ for their efficiency, a contrast to the Christchurch City Council, who was stripped of their consenting accreditation last year because of major delays.
To the best of my knowledge, we're the only council that has got through the accreditation round twice consecutively without any corrective actions. So big plus for the team.
The Selwyn district is processing their consents within 11 days, 9 days shorter than the required 20-day time frame. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
Impressive indeed. Construction is underway on the new Cashel Square complex. The modern glass design will include retail and office space buildings around a public square. It has a price tag of $100 million and is being developed by Nick Hunt. The development will fill almost half a city block, occupying the former site of the Restart Container Mall. Located between Cashel, Colombo and Hereford Streets, it will sit beside major property investor Anthony Goff's $300 million terrace development. By early next week, Christchurch City will have greater control over the Littleton port of Christchurch.
The Christchurch Press is reporting that by Monday, Port Otago will have sold its last Littleton port shares to Christchurch City Holdings. Christchurch City Holdings Limited is buying the shares at $3.95 a share. The Christchurch City Council-owned company will then hold an additional 15.5% of Littleton Port. Currently, Christchurch City Holdings already owns 79.7% of the port, and once next week's transaction is finalised, the share percentage will increase to about 97%. That figure is including an additional 2% of shares it's in the process of accepting. Due to the sale, Port Otago will receive a 20 cents a share dividend.
Canterbury police are cracking down on the use of child car seats to make sure children are strapped in tight.
Over a month-long campaign, police checked more than 400 vehicles, finding 250 restraints that were either not installed correctly or not up to standard. In some cases, children were found using adult seatbelts, despite not being at the right height. Police say that a correctly fitted child restraint can mean the difference between life and death in the event of a crash. However, this is only when it is used correctly. The month-long blitz took place at 22 of the region's kindergartens and primary schools. Any driver found to not have the right seat for their child received a $150 fine, unless they fixed the problem within a short period. After 10 years, car restraints need to be replaced, and the most common restraint faults were with expired seats.
Coming up, political candidates are fighting to win the Christchurch Central and Waimakariri seats.
With all the latest innovations in the world of technology, Shift has everything you need to stay informed and in the know. Shift, 2:15 on Monday, right here on CTV.
Our new companion package is a personalised service for those that need extra help and support. A cost-effective solution for someone who needs more than just a taxi driver. Our drivers are hand-picked from our experienced team and specialise in providing the right support and companionship. Home safe every time with Blue Star Taxis.
Introducing My Freeview.
This fella doesn't just preserve your right to watch free digital TV. It fits your viewing around your life. Too busy putting out fires? Record at the touch of a button. Want to watch one channel and record another? You can. And if you need to nip away, hit pause.
Even a live show.
For a one-off payment, you can enjoy Freeview when it suits you, not someone else. It's like having your own TV station at home without monthly fees or contracts. My Freeview. It's Kiwi for TV.
Looking for that perfect gift for a loved one? Wanting to add some vibrance to your home? Or just looking to brighten up your workplace? No matter the occasion, the Hitching Post has something for everyone. Lose yourself in their extensive range of homeware, art, glass and plasma cut metalwork.
The Hitching Post is your one-stop shop for great style and quality. So come on down to The Hitching Post, 722 Marshland Road.
Kia ora!
Hey, my name's Victoria.
And my name is Nana. Climb aboard the Tiki Tour bus and join in on all the fun.
Every Saturday at 8 here on CTV.
Ka kite.
Enjoy the show.
Christchurch Central will be one of the more interesting electorates to watch this Saturday night. The Prime Minister has even described the electorate as on his list of potential election night surprises. Here's Marcus Gibbs with an overview of the race to win Christchurch Central.
National's Nikki Wagner kick-starting her campaign in one of the more affluent streets of her Christchurch Central electorate. Boundary changes have meant that Christchurch Central is no longer the electorate it was 3 years ago. Nikki Wagner reportedly described the electorate as unwinnable when the changes were first unveiled. But when CTV met her in May, she had changed her tack, and she was feeling a lot more positive about the campaign. 4 months later, in the Associate Earthquake Recovery Minister's first term as MP for Christchurch Central is drawing to an end. However, she's hopeful for another.
Christchurch Central is always going to be difficult for a national campaign, but I think I've done the work. I've had 4,000 constituent inquiries through my office in the last 3 years, and we've worked really hard, so I'm hoping that that will stand me in good stead.
When Nikki was out door knocking the northern end of the electorate, Tony was in Sydenham, drawing up support. Now he too is preparing for the end of a long campaign this Saturday. He's personally knocked on more than 10,000 homes.
It's from dawn to dusk at the moment. It's from when I wake up in the morning to when I go to bed very late at night. But it's good fun as well. You know, I'm meeting a lot of people. I'm listening to people's concerns. We've got a lot of debates, so it's a good chance. In terms of grassroots democracy, that's what it's all about. It's going to those local community debates.
Meanwhile, the Green Party's David Morehouse isn't wanting to become the MP for the electorate. Instead, he's doing his best to increase the party vote. If it pays off, he'll make it to Parliament.
People are telling me that they want to change the government. We're saying to them that Party Vote Green on Saturday will deliver a fairer, cleaner and smarter New Zealand.
This is David Morehouse's third time campaigning. During last year's Christchurch East by-election, he represented the Greens, and during the 2011 general election, he ran for Christchurch Central.
What I've learnt is that Christchurch has actually been let down badly by the Key government. Key said in 2011 nobody would be worse off. Everybody I'm door knocking on is saying, look, show us the money.
Major issues for the Christchurch Central electorate include fixing the flooding issues in the Flockton Basin and deciding whether or not Phillipstown School should be kept open. These are controversial issues, but they could influence the vote in Christchurch. It'll be a tight race to the finish. In the 2011 general election, National won the party vote, and after 3 times trying, Nikki Wagner claimed the Labour stronghold as her own. In total, 28,000 residents voted, and there are already 53,000 residents enrolled for Saturday's election. Electorate officers are reportedly seeing more early voters than in previous years. It's still anyone's game, but all will be revealed this Saturday night. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
And with only 3 days until the general election, while Marcus was traipsing around Christchurch Central, reporter Joelle Bautista went north to the Waimakariri electorate, where she met some of the candidates there to find out how their campaigns are going.
There are more than 47,000 people in the Waimakariri district. 97% of that number are enrolled to vote. Meet the Waimakariri candidates. For National, there's Matthew Ducey. After leaving his job at Christchurch Hospital, this family man believes he can make a difference in the Waimakariri.
And I think I bring a fresh, energetic, new and young approach to the challenges and opportunities ahead.
This blue candidate is feeling hopeful for Saturday's election.
We're getting a great response on the doors. People are saying they very much like the performance of the National Government over the last 3 to 6 years, and I'm telling them to vote National to bring a strong and stable government.
But Matt Ducey's answer to if Nikki Haga's dirty politics has affected his campaign:
Well, I've been out there, I've been door knocking, I've door knocked over 10,000 doors, and people are saying to me they want to focus on the real issues about a strong economy, education, healthcare and safer communities, and I think that's really what people are focused on.
For the Red Team, Labour's Waimakariri list MP Clayton Cosgrove is confident the win will be in his favour.
Oh, look, we're fighting fit, we're fighting hard, and we're firing all the guns. And it's been a great campaign, really good response. We'll be campaigning right up till the late hours on Friday night, and then it's in the hands of the people.
For this Labour MP, he believes his campaign has been successful.
We've done 147 street corner meetings throughout the electorate. People have been really generous. They expect you to lay out your track record, what you've done, what you've delivered for people. They don't just want you to take it at face value, and we never have. And, we trust the people on Saturday night. The decision's over to them.
For the Greens Party, meet Oxford resident Reuben Hunt. Differently to Labour and National, his campaign is purely for the party.
Well, I'm not actually asking for the candidate vote. I'm asking that people vote for the candidate that they feel best represents them in the electorate. What I'm asking for is the party vote, the Green Party vote, which is so critical for our party.
This Greens candidate believes it's the policies that will bring the real change. What Reuben Hunt believes is important to the Waimakariri.
There's general concern about the quality of the water in our rivers, and the Greens have certainly got policies to address all of that. I think there's also a lot of concern about the inequality that is creeping, that is getting worse in this country. And again, the Greens are very focused on addressing that, starting with kids' poverty.
And your final words from your 2014 candidates.
A vote for the Greens and for Waimakariri is for a cleaner environment, for a fairer society and for a much smarter economy, moving away from the polluting economy that we're currently living under.
If you want a strong voice inside a John Key national government, then you can vote for Matt Ducey.
A vote for me is a vote for somebody that's got a track record of delivering for people in very practical ways. Earthquake victims, people who have been done over by the system or treated unfairly. And I think you should judge politicians by what they've done, not what they say they're going to do.
Joelle Batista, CTV News.
And it's worth noting that in the Waimakariri electorate, 95% of eligible voters have enrolled to vote. That is considerably higher than some of the city's electorates. Now, this week we are surveying voters on whether they've made their minds up ahead of this Saturday's election. Tonight we start with Bishopdale residents in the Ilam electorate. Later in the week we'll head over to the east. Now, it will be interesting, I think, to see just how people respond to the same questions based on where they're living and how their area has been affected by the events, political decisions, earthquakes and so forth over the last 3 years.
Yes. Oh, of course, yes.
For the
Yes, I've voted.
Pretty much. Yep.
Devoted. You've already voted?
No, I'm still unsure yet.
No.
Yes. I have.
I've made the decision. I've voted.
Did any political events recently change your mind at all?
No.
Impacted?
No. Oh, not really. No. It's not very good, is it?
No. I'll say no.
Not really, just watching how people live and the effects of policies on other people.
Yeah, I think it puts a bit of doubt in your mind. Yeah, so, no, I've got a bit of thinking to do before Saturday, so. Yeah.
What in particular has put a doubt in your mind then?
I suppose it's all the news that's coming through about John Key at the moment, so yeah, a little bit what if.
It just puts me off, so I'll just vote who I would like to vote.
Nope. And
I'm not happy with what's been going on, the discussions, the arguments. It's all pathetic, and we've got to make a decision, and that is why I've made a decision before the weekend.
To me, there's never been a worse election.
Pretty dirty politics, isn't it?
It is dirty politics.
Still to come, tonight's weather update.
Tomorrow Today is your science program, presenting a comprehensive overview of the latest trends in science and research. Tomorrow Today, Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m, right here on CTV.
Come in and meet the locals at the Bush Inn Centre. Whether it's to grab a coffee on the go or to catch up with a friend over lunch or dinner, the Bush Inn Centre is the perfect place. With our unique range of shops, you'll find everything you're looking for and more. Our friendly locals are always happy to help. We have plenty of parking at the Bush Inn Centre, making your shopping experience just a little bit easier. So come in, meet the locals and shop Bush Inn. You'll find us on the corner of Riccarton and Waimari Roads.
Welcome to Caltex Redwood. We're a family-owned business proudly supporting our local community. We're open 24/7 for fuel and shop goods, and we have an amazing team of people ready to help you. Save at least 6 cents per litre using AA Smart Fuel cards. We also offer great value on our LPG bottle fills. We have a full workshop and Bridgestone Tyre Centre. Our mechanics and tyre technicians will get your car sorted. Caltex Redwood. We're just down from St Bede's on Main North Road. Caltex Redwood. What drives you?
We all know the best thing you can do for your body is eat fresh foods in their natural state. The same applies to your skincare. Southern Skin provides a skincare range with fresh, locally sourced ingredients, plus natural preservatives and emulsifiers to produce the best nourishment for your skin to unleash your healthiest complexion. New Zealand olive and aloe skincare for young or old, men, women and children. There is a product in the Southern Skin range for you. southernskin.co.nz.
It's Blackwell's Mazda Demolition Sale, with prices on selected demonstrators that'll blow you away. BT50 4x4 from $39,995. CX5 from $35,595. Mazda 6 LTD from $49,995. CX9 from $55,495. And Mazda 3 from $30,800. The clock's ticking. These prices could blow any second. Call Blackwell's Mazda Stockburn today.
The world has a great deal to tell. Journalists from across the world report on their home nations and the experiences of the people who live there. World Stories.
The Selwyn Aquatic Centre's main pool will be closed all of next week while its floor tiles are repaired. It's the second time the pool's been closed since it opened. Both times, tiles on the pool floor have had to be repaired. In a statement, the Selwyn District Council says the tiles were laid shortly after a small earthquake and this may have caused some ground resettling. The rest of the Aquatic Centre will remain open while the tiles are repaired. A tax on irrigation could mean Canterbury farmers are left out of pocket more than other areas of the country.
Canterbury farmers may be forced to pay the bulk of an irrigation tax, which could yield the government almost $40 million a year. In a report commissioned by Federated Farmers, the cost of a commercial irrigation charge would be $39 million. The New Zealand Institute of Economic Research has been commissioned to put the report together. A spokesperson for them told the press it's a conservative estimate based on 1% water charge that's been applied to the country's farm irrigators only, and farmers using 30% of their consented irrigation supply. In 2011, the Green Party mooted a commercial water charge of 10 cents per every 1,000 litres consumed. The NZIER says based on that figure, the Greens would receive a revenue of between $370 and $570 million. As the press reports, this would fund river clean-up projects by farmers and councils. If using an all-encompassing tax, it would shift the tax burden from Canterbury, who is the country's irrigation stronghold, to the big hydroelectric regions of Southland and Otago. If water taxes only apply to irrigators, Canterbury would be responsible for paying 62% of the tax, while Otago users would be responsible for only 21%.
Fonterra has been criticised for misleading farmers over its milk solid payouts.
The Commerce Commission has told Fonterra off for the way it adjusted its milk payout price to farmers, paying out just $8.40 per kg of milk solids instead of the projected $8.95 a kg. The Commerce Commission then released its final report on Fonterra's base milk calculation for the 2013 and 2014 season. The report claims Fonterra set a lower price in order to cancel out the effect of an unanticipated event that would have impacted negatively on its profits. The Commission's Deputy Chair told Fairfax Media the way Fonterra is calculating and applying its adjustment to the base milk price is not consistent with incentives for the company to operate efficiently. The Commerce Commission is required to review Fonterra's calculation of their milk payout each year as part of the price monitoring regime. A draft report released earlier this year came to the same conclusions as the final report, aside from two minor differences. This year's farm gate price is projected to be $6, a much lower price than last year's $8.40. The 2014 and 2015 report will review the price information. That report will be released next year.
Well, it's time now for your local weather update.
Good evening, Canterbury. Let's take a look at the region's weather. Starting off in Timaru, they hit 13 today. Temuka and Geraldine slightly warmer on 14. Methven and Ashburton hit 13 degrees today, while Rakai also had mild weather with 13 degrees. Darfield, Leeston and Ralston, a mild day for you with a high of 13. Lincoln and Christchurch cloudy but with a high of 13 degrees. Rangiora, Kaipoi and Amberley. Hope you've had a lovely day to go with your high of 13. Heading north to Culverden, Hanna Springs and also Cheviot, they hit a high of 13. And at the very top in Kaikoura, they had the region's low only hitting 12. But what's in store for tomorrow? Timaru, a fine day with high cloud increasing steadily and gusty northwesterlies later on, hitting an overnight low of 1 and a high of 18. Ashburton, fine and sunny with high cloud increasing and northwesterly winds freshening later on, hitting an overnight low of 1 and a high of 18 degrees. Christchurch, a fine Thursday in store with high cloud increasing and northeasterly winds. 2 degrees overnight, hitting just a high of 16 throughout the day. And at the very top in Kaikoura, mostly fine and sunny with high cloud increasing during the day and northeasterly breezes. 2 degrees overnight with a high of 16. And in other areas around the region, Temuka and Geraldine hitting a high of 17 with afternoon cloud. Methven expect a high of 18 and Rakai fine in the morning with an afternoon high of 17. Darfield a high of 18, Leeston and Ralston fine in the morning with a high of 16. Over in Akaroa expect afternoon cloud with a high of 16 degrees. Rangiora, Kaipoi and Amberley, you're expected to hit a high of 18 with afternoon cloud. At the top, Culverden, Hanna Springs and Cheviot, fine in the morning with a high of 18. And looking ahead for the rest of Canterbury, moderate to fresh mild northwesterly winds and sunny periods, and high cloud on Friday. Fine at first on Saturday with high cloud and moderate westerly winds. Colder southwesterlies freshening during the afternoon with a few thundery showers. Heavy rain developing at night with very cold southerly winds and snow flurries to 300 metres. Wintry showers clearing on Sunday with sunny periods increasing during the day and cold southwesterlies dying out. Very cold winds freshening again on Monday morning with a brief period of cloud and coastal hail showers clearing late in the day. Fine and milder on Tuesday with moderate westerly winds, sunny periods and high cloud. And that is all for your region's weather. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.
And that is CTV News for Wednesday. I'm Grant Mangan. Good night.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.